Hey folks, Matt here with 10-Minute Business, and this is the last part in our Business Model Canvas overview series. Thanks so much for following along. I'm going to be hard-pressed to get the 10 minutes done under the wire here because we have a lot to talk about. We need to finish the canvas. We need to do a final check, and we need to tell a cohesive story. So let's see if we can do it. So the whole idea, like I said at the outset of the first video, the Business Model Canvas primarily is a brainstorming template and a storytelling tool. Sometimes you're telling a story to somebody else. Sometimes you're telling yourself a story. So let's see if we can tell a story with the Business Model Canvas we use to create with our fake tech toy for students. But first, we're going to talk a little bit about a quick revenue check. We finished the last one looking at cost structure. So I went back to our revenue stream format or block and filled in some sample sales numbers. Obviously, these sales numbers are way lower than you would ever want to see for this sort of a business, but it's just something to work off of to have something to talk about. So I'm assuming that we're going to sell about $1,000 or 1,000 of our $800 units. We're going to sell approximately 500 memory upgrades at $200 a piece, 100 warranty subscriptions, 500 one-time warranties at $99, and you can go through and see the rest of those there. And based on these very rough sales estimates, we can look to sell about $1.1 million in revenue a year. Sounds great, right? Everyone wants to sell $1 million in revenue, but we need to make sure that this matches our cost structure that we so diligently put together in the previous video. So if you remember in that video, I had an approximate cost structure of $1.21 million, excluding a lot of different expenses there for the purposes of discussion. And I'm only showing that we're making $1.1 million. So does that mean that if you went through your business model canvas on your very first draft and you had a discrepancy of about $100,000 that you'd throw your business idea in the trash and you'd say, oh, okay, I guess I'll go do something else now. Maybe I'll go back to school. Maybe I'll get a job and I'm not going to live my dreams of being an entrepreneur. No, of course not. What you would do is say, wow, what a great first draft. I really hit pretty close on my first time here. I just need to make a couple of minor tweaks to see what I could do better. Maybe those tweaks are selling a little bit more. Maybe it's bringing the cost down, but I'll talk about this now when I actually go through and tell a story using the stuff we just put together. So here's the story I'm going to tell about our high-tech tech tool. So out there in the market, there's a group of parents who are approximately in their mid 30s to mid 50s, upper middle class, kind of upper class. They're doing really well. They've gone to university. They probably have some white collar professional jobs, maybe construction management jobs. They're doing well. They work a lot though, and they want to make sure that they're giving their kids the best possible stuff when they can, right? Otherwise, why spend all this time working? Why go to school? And they also care about status. They want to make sure that other people know they have the best of the best. Their kids are in their 7 to 10-year-old range. They're fairly active kids, but they're bored. They know that they can get what they want because their parents are working so much and they want the best too. They watch a lot of YouTube. They see what their friends have had at school and they want the best of the best as well. So what we're going to offer them is a tablet, some sort of a technical device that's basically an infinite learning platform for kids. So even though mom and dad maybe aren't around all the time, they have access to the best education tools, software, programs, the best displays, the best longest lasting battery life, the best parental safety lockout tools on the market to give their kids the best of the best. And kids, of course, they want to access app stores. They want to play games with their friends. They want to be able to learn. And, they know on the playground that if you have the best of the best, other people notice. And that's important for some kids and some families. And there's nothing wrong with that. The way that we're going to do that with our company is we're going to provide the highest of the high level customer service, the highest of the high level quality. We're going to have the best stores. They look futuristic. They look like they came from, the year 3022. They're so in the future. Our staff's very well trained, very professional, very helpful, but not pushy. They're not pushing because they know that you want to buy. They don't have to sell you on it. That's why you're here in the first place. They are going to give you the best warranties. They're going to give you the best tech support. And if you need to exchange, we understand. We're going to make it the easiest process ever because we want you to come back for more products in the future. It's going to be the highest, the best quality imaginable. Fit and finish is going to be really good. It's going to be one of those products that when you hold it in your hand, this is one of the best products ever, and I can't wait to give this to my kid for Christmas, for their birthday, for Easter, for graduation, whenever you give kids presents. I don't know. I don't have kids. The product's going to last forever. It's going to have really good resale value if you do decide to use it, because the brand awareness is so high. Everybody wants it, even if it's a secondary, second use thing. And we're going to do that through all your standard channels. We're going to go on the web. We're going to have e-commerce, direct to consumer, where you're going to be able to go buy it in a retail chain store. You're going to be able to buy it in a retail chain e-commerce platform. You're going to see our advertising all over your socials, all over your physical space. It's going to be on billboards. It's going to be on buses. It's actually going to be kind of hard to get away from our advertising, because we're so confident that we're selling the best product ever that we're going to make sure we're putting the advertising budget behind it to make sure you see it. To make that happen, we're going to need to lean on our local industry association. Our Chamber of Commerce is going to help us. We have a really solid government partner who's going to make sure we're exporting, make sure we're getting the advantage of all the best supports possible in our ecosystem. We have a strong R&D team led by a technical researcher at a local university who's going to make sure our stuff is always best of the best, with the best AI, the best machine learning, the best big data, the best every buzzword you could possibly think of. To make sure that we're delivering on the business the way that we're supposed to, we're going to need office space. We're going to need a manufacturing facility that will contract out. We're not going to manage that. Somebody else will. We're going to need company vehicles, software licenses, patents. We're going to need a lot of really good staff, really expensive staff, because we want the best of the best to deliver the best of the best. And to make that happen, we're going to put it all together in this sort of a cost structure and a revenue stream. We expect, in our first series of projections, we're almost making money right away without even having to fine tune our model. We're almost at a break-even point with our very first pass through our financials. And I think what we can do to bring that to be even more advantageous for our young company is look at how can we drive more sales of our highest value products. We're going to look at our margins to make sure they can be, they're the best they possibly can be. And we're also going to look inward. We're going to look at our expenses. Maybe we don't need the fanciest computers at our desks. Maybe we don't need to all be driving Lexuses for company vehicles. We're going to trim those expenses down to make sure that the next time we do a draft of our business model canvas, this number is at least reversed and we're at least in the black in our general business model canvas cost structure. So that probably sounded kind of silly. I played some of it up just for fun, but what I wanted to show is how you use the canvas, to flesh out the business idea. I actually sort of learned about this, I can now see this business in my head just from the process of going through and building that. And then when you tell a story with it, it solidifies it even better. You get to make sure that it sounds reasonable. And then the financial check at the end also makes sure that the model you're looking at least makes sense as you articulated it. So that's really important. I hope that series on the business model canvas was helpful as an overview. Make sure you check back for the rest of our content, where I'm going to cover as much stuff as I possibly know about and can deliver in a video format. So we'll hopefully see you there. Thanks. Bye-bye.